Jaguars versus Browns. Similar question here. Does Joe Flacco make the Cleveland Browns a playoff threat?
See, and I'll give you my honest answer where nobody's going to like this one, though. This is one of those ones where I'm going to sound like the bad guy. But I also don't want, I'm also being completely honest, and I could be totally wrong, as I always say. Like, this is one of my ones I'm willing to be sitting in mind, potentially a cold take for sure. But with Joe Flacco, it's like, he's one of those guys that can for sure come in and have like a good week. But it's like just how I felt about him in the last few years. It's like, I don't think that I have faith in him to go have like that same playoff run that he had back when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. It's like, because that's what he'd have to do in order for them to win the bowl. And don't get me wrong, for them to make the playoffs, it's like, yeah, no, I have a lot of faith they can make the playoffs at this point, seeing how he's playing. But to like go all the way. And it's like, that's where it's like, if anything, it's like, I didn't want to get my hopes up.
Right.
Because it's like, as many times as he plays good, it's like, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
He's been playing crazy. And I mean, I guess the main argument for when he was kind of getting older and playing was his arm strength. His arm looked fine.
No, he's playing good. And that's the thing is, it's just, I just don't want to overgas yet on a, like, where it's like, I just need a little more sample size this season. But it's like, hey, you know what? If he can do this throughout the whole end of the course of the regular season, you know what? Maybe I'll change my tune a little bit. It's more than anything, I just don't even want to like get anyone's hopes up because, like I've been saying, I just still feel bad about the trajectory of the Browns season this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just kind of like, especially with all the injuries piling up and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
I feel bad.
They're on their third string right tackle, their second string left tackle. Maurice Hurst is out with a pectoral
having
tear.
one of his best seasons.
Oh my God. I mean, the bright side is it looks like David Njoku is getting involved more. Elijah Moore has been getting involved more. Elijah Moore was more of a I believe. Wait, no, who was it Joe Flacco? Yeah, it was Joe Flacco. For some reason, I'm thinking DTR. But yeah, I mean, outside of Amari Cooper, you have offensive skill positions getting involved on the Browns, which is encouraging. That defense is still good.
Drop issues going down a little bit with Joe?
Or Elijah?
No, I just meant to say with Joe out there.
Oh, with Joe out there?
For whatever reason, I don't even think, and I'm not saying it has anything to do with Joe himself. I just think, thankfully, these last few weeks,
Joe Flacco is a vet, and I don't think that offense really had that vet presence. I mean, like, Deshaun Watson's a vet, but, like, Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. So I think it's a very interesting tale. I honestly think the Browns are one of those teams where there's no telling what they can do. But a team that has been disappointing the last few weeks, regardless of injury or not, is the Jaguars. That 1-seed narrative seems like it's kind of down the toilet right now.
No, it's crumbling. It's crumbling. And I also, because I want to move on to the Jags too, I just want to say, like, real quick, the Browns still could make a run. I don't want to seem like I'm like putting like, I don't want to seem like it's like, oh, they're done. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, I do just feel bad and it's not likely. But yeah, but over to the Jaguars. Lord, where do I even start with these dudes? Because they're getting to the point where they're kind of starting to piss me off.
Bro, what is look, I truly don't know what is actually happening with them.
I just don't think. No, I'll tell you what I think exactly is happening with them. I think that as of right now, they're just not all the way consistent yet. And whether that has to do with the fact that some days, that's what's weird about the Jaguars, though, is some days the offense is the one that doesn't show up, and some days it's the defense. They still have that problem. Where most days both of them do, but there's definitely still those days where it's like, what is this team's identity today? Which doesn't happen that often. But
they didn't really get the run game going. I mean, ETN only had 35 yards on the ground.
See, and that was, and if you remember, we were saying like 2 weeks ago, the Jags can beat anybody. The recipe. This was the Jags recipe. Write it down if you don't remember it, Jags fans. 250 plus pass yards, 100 plus rush yards, no turnovers. The Jags can play like that every single week. That is when the Jags can beat anybody. But if the Jags aren't keeping the ball on the ground, they're not churning out yards, and they're turning it over like this. Even this is a great example. You did turn the ball over, what, 3 times?
3 times. Trevor Lawrence did, yeah.
And you're still, I would say, and
4 times.
Yeah, I would say with the fumble too.
Fumble.
So 4 turnovers, and you still very close to winning the game. But that's the point, is when the Jaguars play sloppy, they're screwed. But if they can just play a good, concise game, I do think the Jags can beat almost anyone. It's just, they haven't shown they can do it very consistently when they play a better team.
That's the main thing, is their consistency. I mean, like, they've lost both these games here by 3 points and 4 points. Like, the swing, like, if they would have this first round bye right now at 10-3 compared to 8-5, because with 8-5, it really puts them in the middle of that, like, top of the AFC with the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, even the Bills now. So my thing is, like, now you're right in the middle. Now it's going to be really hard to break out of that. And it looks like kind of like it's the Ravens conference at this point.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why it's like if you're the Jaguars, this was such a blown opportunity. I mean, it's just you just look at this like, wow, what a blown opportunity.
Yeah, if I'm Doug Peterson, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what you did last year against the Chargers was incredible. If you get behind, I don't know if that's happening again because not every team is the Chargers.
No. I think that's everything. Like we've been saying this for almost a whole year or 2 years now. I think every Jags fan just wants to see this team be able to start hot. I feel like a lot of the times they're kind of clawing.
They're very slow, kind of like the Bengals, but like they don't get they never pick up that consistency.
No, very much. That is very much exactly how I feel about them. It's like, come on, Jags, let's like just come in firing on all cylinders for once and do it for multiple weeks in a row. That's what they need.